Welcome back. Today we're going to be freeze drying some chicken. This is the Costco rotisserie chicken. These are a little bit lighter, ends up being $1.66 a pound, so it's one of their loss leaders. It says it weighs 2.87 pounds. We'll see what it weighs in at. With the package, it shows 3 pounds, 1 ounce. I imagine I've probably got a good pound of between skin and bones. Probably a good pound. Being that it's already cooked, price per pound is probably the best deal out there. So we've got 2 pounds, 8.4 ounces, and the plate and cup weigh 12.2 ounces. So our total is 1 pound, 12.2 ounces of meat after it's been deboned. So 1 pound, 12.2 ounces, almost 2 pounds of meat. And that ends up being, for $4.75, just over $2 a pound. So it's not too bad being pre-cooked. All right, let's go ahead and freeze dry this stuff. I went ahead and loaded the rest of the chicken onto the trays. This is between the 2 chickens I purchased. We had some for dinner, so this is the remaining amount, which ends up being about 2.5 pounds. And each tray has a mixture of fairly large chunks of white meat and dark meat. And since it's such a light load, I'm not worried about the size of the chunks as much. We will see how it freeze dries. So let's go ahead and load up the freeze dryer. All right, I'll see you tomorrow when this is all done. This is our final product. I think the most amazing part is how the grease almost disappears. There's little spots like this where a bit of fat had dripped, but in general, almost all of it's gone. You can still see a little sheen, maybe on camera there, but with the nitrogen purging, this should be still safe to store for many years. Just kind of set that to the side. Put our bag up here. There we go. Yeah. I can only do that because of the large bag. This one has the spot of grease. So I want to kind of be careful not to smash that into the rest of the chicken. There we go. This one's going to be a two-hander. I would adjust the camera, but that's going to be missed. There we go. Okay. Only because I have these so lightly loaded, I can do this too. Just kind of get this one on camera. There we go. Oh, almost. But I tell you, the big freezer mats sure make a difference loading these up. All right, subtract 1.2 ounces for the bag, and we have, wow, so 12.8 would be 11.6 ounces. That's amazing, because this was over 2 pounds. That's pretty cool. So 11.6 ounces afterward. That's really impressive. All right, as you can see, this is kind of filled up. So I purged it, squeezed it, and purged it again. Filling up the bag a bit. I'd rather have these pressurized some, so if they do get a pinhole, it's not under vacuum and sucking the air in. It's going to be pressurized, pushing out. And I can always weigh this again later, now that I've got a total weight. So if this were ever to get a leak and start absorbing water, it's going to weigh more than 12.7 ounces. And I'll know that, hey, it's absorbing water. Let's get rid of it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and seal this up. Thank you for joining us on freeze drying chicken. And this actually turned out a lot better than I expected again. Ready to eat. This is already cooked, so I can just add water or I can eat it the way it is. That's a really cool thing about having freeze-dried meals that are already cooked, is you don't need to necessarily rehydrate to eat them. So this is a good way to go. It doesn't take a lot of energy to consume at that point, so being that you can just eat it dry or add hot water is all it takes. And it's ready to go. I don't have to then cook again later. Thanks Costco for having rotisserie chickens still. I'm glad that they're willing to take the loss on that. This ends up being about $2.60 a pound, which doesn't sound like a killer deal, but allegedly they're not making money on it. I've heard rumors that they were going to stop doing that. For now, I'm going to start buying some rotisserie chickens. You can get chicken on sale for about $1.99 a pound occasionally. You still have to cook it and then go through the same process of boning and skinning. So you're going to lose some value there after doing so, and including the energy cost of cooking. Throw all that into the equation and $2.60 seems to be a pretty good deal for me. Thank you for joining. All right, so this is the weight of the tray. I went ahead and bought 2 more chickens, and each chicken I got 2 pounds of meat out of after deboning. And the weight of the tray with 1 pound of chicken each is 2 pounds, 10.2 ounces for a reference point. So each one's almost precisely 1 pound per tray. This is our second batch. As you can tell, it looks like chicken. Big surprise. It just kind of crumbles apart into little flakes. Takes a little bit to rehydrate. It's got a pretty good flavor. This is a big chunk here. Yeah, it's actually not too bad. So in the event you were forced to eat it dry right out of the bag, it's actually really good. And of course it'll rehydrate really well too. I'm gonna go ahead and rehydrate this little piece. I got some water here, steamy hot water. Go ahead and drop the chicken in. It's actually bubbling. It's crazy. It now weighs 1 pound, 15.9 ounces. So this time I used paper towel to kind of help soak up the oils, and it is completely stuck to the paper towel. Let's get an overall weight too. So I gotta get a weight on the bag again, because I don't remember. 1.1 ounce. So I'll have to subtract 1.1. You see the towel, there's actually just a little bit of oil spots, not a whole lot. And I'll use the silicone mat to try and funnel this meat in. So I bet by the time I am done getting this into the bag, that piece will be rehydrated. The beauty about meat is you can't overhydrate. It only absorbs what it's going to absorb, and that is it. Okay, this time I'm going to try to use the paper towel as a funnel. There we go. That worked pretty well. Hopefully I can fit it all in here. I have to pack her down a bit. So the fat, this is a little bit of fat right here. Turned almost pure white. This bag's already acting full. It's piled up to the top. Give her a little pack. We have 1 pound, 5.2 ounces. So that's 1 pound, 4.1. So 4 pounds reduced down to 1.41. That's amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna write it on the bag, 1.52. I wrote all the specs on the bag here. And as always, I sealed it up almost all the way except for a little spot for the hose to go in. And that way when I pull the hose out, I can just snap it shut. All right, I'll be back to try out this. Looks like it's about ready to eat. As always, I put 2 seals. So I seal down lower, seal near the top. And that way it's double sealed just in case there's a little wrinkle or crease or anything weird like that. If you look closely, sometimes you do get a little wrinkle on it. And so I double seal. So this is 4 pounds of chicken that now weighs 1 pound, 5.2 ounces in the bag. 1 pound, 4.1 ounces of just the chicken. This is cooked, ready to eat, and this has been hydrating. So it's been hydrating for at least 10. It is very soft, pliable. Look at that. It is completely rehydrated. Wow, it actually tastes really good. So that rehydrated really fast. Yeah, I'd be willing to take that on a camp. That is really good. That is cooked, ready to go, and that is really good. Just this little bit of hot water. It rehydrated really fast. Wow, that was good. Very, very juicy because, you know, too much water. If you tried to make it a perfect amount, because I know that this whole bag would take about, what would that be, 16, so that'd be 10, 11 ounces. So it would be 3 pounds and 11 ounces of water to rehydrate this whole bag. So if I poured in exactly that much, it would probably have a lot of water on the bottom and the top would be dry because it's hard to get it all mixed in there and properly hydrated unless I let it sit for a long time and then, you know, shifted, mixed it around. So having too much water, like I would fill this bag to the top with water and just walk away. That would rehydrate the entire bag and I'd have 4 pounds of chicken ready to eat. And that would be more than enough food for 8 people. You know, half a pound each. We would be very happy to have that if things were to go bad. Yes, so if you want any tips, I've got another video on how I purge this with nitrogen, silicone tray mats for liquids that fully cover the tray, so that way it's fully covered, and I pour liquids in at that point with it already in the freeze dryer, so I can just pour right in. They make a really quick, easy transition into the bag. I roll the whole silicone mat and dump it in the bag. It works quite well. So check out those other videos. Thank you for joining. This is Costco rotisserie chicken, and it was 2 whole chickens, deboned and freeze dried. And I wanted to do a second batch where I taste it, and I'm really impressed. Even dry, tastes really good. Rehydrated, it's even better. My gosh, yeah, it tastes like it just came right off the chicken. Just still hot, perfect. These were the $5 chickens, not the $4.75. So I've got 4 pounds, 2 pounds each at $5, so $2.50 a pound at this batch. being $2.50 a pound, cooked, ready to go. You just have to debone it and throw it on the freeze dryer trays. It's a easy way. You don't have to worry about cooking it first. Inexpensive. $2.50 a pound isn't the big screaming deal, but it's, let's see, I just bought a pack of chicken thighs for $1.99 a pound, and I have to cook them. So 50 cents a pound to have it cooked, ready to go is really awesome. The chicken thighs I would still have to debone. It's not going to be $2 a pound by the time I'm deboning it. So this is deboned weight, $2.50 a pound. Really good price for what you're getting, and a lot less work involved. It's really hard to cook a meal and say, hey, I'm just going to go straight from cooking this to freeze drying. It's not easy to do, and even with those rotisserie chickens, it's hard not to want to just kind of go ahead and help yourself to some of those. But I go ahead and eat a little bit of the fattier stuff and the skins. It doesn't go to waste. But yeah, this is definitely a win. So pick up yourself Costco chickens, the rotisserie chickens, whether you're going to eat them for dinner or freeze dry. Pick them up. It's a good deal either way. Thank you for joining.